What's poppin', y'all? Welcome back to another YouTube video, and today we're taking a look at another sci-fi film, which is the Cloverfield Paradox. This is a very interesting film, and one which I very much did enjoy, and that I very much did like, for a lot of reasons that we'll get into a little bit later in the video. But this is on Netflix. I don't think it's new. I think it's been around for a while, but it's been the first time that I've watched this movie, and I absolutely adored it. If you've been a fan of the channel for a while, you will know that I do like dimensions, dimensional travel, and stuff like that. So this was right up my alley, this was right up my street, and very, very exciting. So I enjoyed it. But without any further delay, let's quickly head over to what Google has to say about this movie, The Cloverfield Project. You can only watch this movie on Netflix, and it has a 5.5 out of 10 on IMDb, a 22% Rotten Tomatoes, and a 2 out of 5 on Empire. Now, I don't agree with that. I think it is much better than that, but orbiting above an Earth on the brink of catastrophe, energy wars, scientists test a dangerous device that could provide unlimited power, but also runs the risk of creating a terrifying paradox, leaving them face to face with a dark alternative reality. So, the world is seeing power cuts, an energy shortage, and the government superpowers are like, you know what, let's send this thing to space. So we have a guy, we have loads of people from all over the world. I can't remember specifically where everybody's from. I think someone's from Britain, someone's from Ireland, someone is from USA, someone's from, I want to say Germany, someone is from, China, I think someone's from Russia, and there's probably more which I can't remember, but we're going to continue with that. They are on this spacecraft, and they fire the beam. They've been up here for 2 years. The state down below at Earth isn't going too well. They are on the brink of war and fighting each other because everybody thinks that they are against each other, and everybody thinks that somebody on Earth is doing this. They think it is someone's fault. So in firing this super laser, they end up traveling to a different dimension, flying away from Earth, and then a load of weird shit starts to happen. We find a girl in the walls, someone's eye starts to twitch, and there is 2 people living inside one body. We then have the gyros, the compass, missing, and then it turning up inside someone's body. Someone's arm falls off and then gets controlled by a second version of him. The second version of this spacecraft landed in the ocean and blew up, and someone drowns in space, which is fucking insane. Someone sacrifices himself to save the world. The girl who was in the walls turns on everybody, kills who I thought was the same actor as Boba Fett, but I could be wrong. And then Baron Zemo ends up saving the day with the girl and traveling back to their right dimension by sending off the beam again, and then traveling back down to Earth, where they're then attacked by a giant bat. So, how this story goes is pretty good with the setup, shows us our main character's life, what it's like, what they've been through, and then how life's been on space. We have a little bit of a time jump, a little bit of a time skip. It sets up the dramatic effect of what's happening on Earth. However, it's all told to us through words. We don't get to see the walls, we don't get to see the threats. We see the power cuts, but that's really it. We see their effect, but we don't really see how the humans interact with each other on Earth. It is all from the perspective of these few in space. When they do fire these lasers, it does have a pretty purple color, not gonna lie. I think it's very cool. And it teleports them to the other side of the galaxy, and it's nice to see how it is fucking with their minds. And with it being a paradox, 2 dimensions fighting to survive in one space, and how there is 2 of you in one dimension, and seeing that the dimension is trying to correct that, so it's killing them all off. I like that. I like the sort of uncertainty, the unpredictability of this movie. I like that it's the dimension that's attacking them, the dimension which is trying to kill them off to correct itself and fix itself. We also see a little bit of a side story of her husband protecting a little girl and seeing the aftermath of like the city as shit gets destroyed. We don't really know why it's destroyed. We just assuming that, again, the paradox is causing shit to break down, again with stuff fighting for space and fighting to sort of be the dimension that comes out on top instead of this dimensional collapse. The crew is constantly fighting each other and not really understanding what's going on, blaming each other for everything, like shooting each other and trying to just work out what's happening. And every time that they get an idea of what's happening, something else goes wrong, something else happens, someone else dies. And it's really interesting because they die in the most unorthodox ways. Someone throws up a fuck ton of worms. That's not expected, but it was set up like a couple of minutes prior that they'd lost the worms. It is also set up that they lost the compass, and with the person that has the compass inside them, they are sort of holding their stomach all the time. They're feeling ill, they're feeling sick, and it's just stuff like that that sets up like little plot points that are key to like figuring out what's going to happen next, like Final Destination, but we don't get to sort of see how it plays out because of how unpredictable it is. The seeds are there, the seeds are set, but it's that sort of unpredictability of, shit, what the fuck is going to happen? How is this going to play out? Where are the worms? Where's the gyro? Why is he ill? It's so random and so separate from each other that you wouldn't make these connections. With the wall swallowing this guy's arm and then a tapping sound coming from somewhere else and us seeing that arm, with a girl with wires running through her body and poles running through her body as she's stuck inside the wall. It's that randomness which I like because it's unpredictable. It keeps you on your toes, it keeps you watching, it keeps you guessing, it keeps you wanting more. It has these questions which you want to find out answers to, so it keeps you hooked and it keeps you excited. And I did not go on my phone once watching this entire movie because of how locked in I was. Seeing these different people from different backgrounds interact with each other and have different thoughts and ideas on how to fix these situations or how they would handle these things is also really interesting. Just with how different like all the cultures are. So I thought that was exciting. And again, the Irish guy was the funniest one, not gonna lie. He was the comedic relief. I was quite sad when he got exploded, to be fair. The self-sacrifice was kinda rushed, I feel. Everything else was pretty well paced, but the self-sacrifice and the ending, I feel like we had a pretty decent pacing all the way through the movie until the plot twist of her turning evil. The new girl, the girl that was in the walls, went rogue, went evil, and we didn't really see that being built up throughout the movie, or I didn't notice the little hidden plot details that sort of showed that throughout the movie. It just sort of happened. She just sort of went rogue at the end and stole the gun. I know that she didn't want to die, but dog, her going evil was not on my bingo card for this movie. And his self-sacrifice was also quite boring. He brought all three of them out there to like shut them out and then just fucking dip. And that was really it. Gonna be honest, the self-sacrifice wasn't that exciting. It kind of came expected from his character. He was the captain. He was the one that was constantly sort of being like the captain role, and the captain always goes down with the ship, and he was the one that was constantly looking out for each other, trying to keep everyone alive, trying to keep everyone on the same side, and he just had a lot of hope for her. And I don't think he had anything to go back to at home, so it was understandable that he was the one to sort of make that sacrifice for our main character, and our main character being one of the few to actually make it home. You know, she was the one that we saw first. She's the main character. Of course, she's going to be the one that survives to the end. That is no sort of like strange thing to happen in horror movies or thriller movies or slasher movies, whatever you want to call this. Like, the main character always survives until the end. That's just how it goes. Whether they die at the end or not is a different matter, but they will majority of the time survive all the way until the end. What I didn't like about this movie is the weird fucking bat creature at the end. It felt so random and so out of place, with this random bat kaiju showing up out the clouds to show that they've come back to this terrible situation. what the fuck? Not gonna lie. Where did they come from? What have they got to do with anything? Did the other dimension have these bat creatures? Or is it just this one? And I know that it's a paradox, and it technically means that there's more than one dimension fighting for space if these creatures also showed up. There is, like, now multiple. And who knows if this is their real dimension that they were supposed to arrive to, or if it was a completely separate one. I don't know. The mystery of it is quite cool, but I wasn't a huge fan of the bat thing. It felt... I know this movie, like, is far-fetched anyway. I just felt like it felt so far out from what the movie had set up previously. And I felt like it was just completely... I don't know, just ruined it for me a little bit. But other than that, I think the movie was pretty solid, and I would give it a solid, like, 9 out of 10. So other than that, I hope you all enjoyed. I'll see you all next one. Hope you all have an excellent day. Goodbye.